は俺の誇りも約束も全て貴様に託したのだ。負けることなど絶対に許さん。神の領域など踏み越えろ。そしてジレンを倒せカカロット。
Welcome guys to my talk about Dragon Ball Super, and I'm going to talk a little bit about episode 129 and the end of Dragon Ball Super and some theories that are arising because of it and what could potentially happen after for the future of the series and whatnot. All in all, this recent episode is the definition of hype. This is one of those episodes where you just can't not get hyped watching Dragon Ball. It's why we watch Dragon Ball, most of us anyway. But there are some things wrong with the episode too. Like, it wasn't the greatest episode ever in terms of animation, but the animation itself was on point, but they reused a lot of animation in the first half, but that didn't take away from any of the experience, in my honest opinion. I've seen some people complaining about it, but they reused the animation in really good ways, and it wasn't necessarily very noticeable to me. So I think they actually did pretty well in concealing that. Okay, so last time we left off with Goku surpassing his limits yet again, and the things that with this time is that if the glow disappears from his eyes, then it will be all over. There's only 3 minutes left in the Tournament of Power, and they start fighting and explosions everywhere. You can see how powerful these guys are. You can see how powerful Goku is compared to Jiren. But one thing you have to kind of wonder is, where is Frieza in all this? How is he surviving throughout all of these explosions? And there are only 2 episodes left, so Frieza will probably play an integral role in the final episode in some way, because the next episode will probably primarily be focused on Jiren versus Goku in his mastered Ultra Instinct form. It seems the staff is trying to have us forget that Frieza actually exists. So they continue with the fight of Jiren versus Goku, and Goku is actually still weak. He still has a weakness in regards to Ultra Instinct. He hasn't mastered it yet. So the gods are, kind of mocking him in that regard, and Vegeta gives this limit-breaking speech like he did at the end of Z. I kind of knew he would do this, and I'm glad he did. He has so much pride in Saiyans, and he shows how much he trusts in Goku's ability to surpass his limits and do what he couldn't. So props to Vegeta on that, even though they knocked you off, and you didn't get the glory I thought you deserved, but you got more than you ever had in the majority of the Dragon Ball series. Needless to say, after Vegeta said what he said, Goku started to show his prowess. Started to really go into the zone. Just like in Kuroko's basketball, he started to only focus on the fight. Just everything to do with the fight and nothing else. Because of that, he kind of achieved a deeper level than instinct itself, and because of that he started moving super fast. And look, what I really love about this is, previously I thought Dragon Ball couldn't get any more powerful. I mean, it couldn't look any more powerful, but holy shit, Goku was moving so fast he looked as if he was stagnant. He looked like he was just vibrating. He was moving so fast, he created a barrier and started like punching through Jiren's super stylish punches. He countered them and even broke through them at one point in time. Heck, his energy even created a galaxy looking type entity beneath him. That is some feats right there. That's a feat. And the next time Screw Attack does a Goku versus Superman, they need to take all this into consideration. Even though Superman will probably still win because he's just this godlike entity, but Goku is now a godlike entity that can technically dodge any attack. All he needs now is infinite energy, and the battle between Goku and the strongest Superman would probably just be a stalemate. Jiren finally responds to Goku's power with more respect and more power, absolute power, his absolute power. So I'm guessing this is Jiren's limit. This here, if next episode he powers up again and gets more bullshit power, I'm kind of gonna be pissed, because this is his limit here. We see Goku trashing Jiren after he masters Ultra Instinct, after he transforms. We see Goku doing the invisible punch thing. He's standing in front of Jiren, Jiren's behind of him, and Goku's like, "Omae wa mo shinderu, nani?" And yeah, so Goku has finally surpassed the gods to the point that all of those bitches needed to stand in his presence. In the presence of that form, that glow, the complete Ultra Instinct. My boy Goku has achieved higher heights that no one ever thought he would achieve yet again. So enough of my fanboyism, let me go into the end of Super and what I think, some of the theories that have been floating around. Namely, one important one that I think is the most likely to happen rather than just a bland ending. So the most important theory I've seen thus far is that Frieza would be the last one left on the stage where after the Tournament of Power is over. So Jiren and Goku would probably have to knock themselves off in some way, or maybe Goku will knock Jiren off and then Goku will be too tired to do anything and Frieza comes around and just knocks him off. And then the series will end in a cliffhanger where Frieza is about to make his devastating wish, whatever it may be. So that will actually leave room for Dragon Ball Super to continue in the next year or so. And not only that, but on an exciting note, I mean, can you just imagine the scene, the ending scene where Frieza's about to make his wish and it just cuts off like that? That would be glorious. To me, it's a better ending than a rushed happy ending where they just replay the end of Z or something like that. I don't want that to happen, honestly. But after they come back from this break or hiatus or whatever they're having, if they ever come back, I am anticipating that they go past the end of Z in some way, and this wish of Frieza's will kind of extend into that, kind of making the end of Z moot, because I really hated that ending. There's no way Goku would have left his family just like that for 7 years or for a very long time. There's no way he would do that or could do that or had to do that. He has instant transmission. He could teleport home whenever he wants to. So it didn't really make much sense to me. One of the other theories I've seen floating around, this doesn't have to do with the end of Z or anything, but it just has to do with Goku's power in general. His hair is white or silver now, and all of the other angels have white hair, so he could be getting closer to that level. That could be that could signify that that's what he's becoming. He may become an angel at some point in the future or some entity like that, because it's actually pretty plausible, because this is assuming all the angels has achieved Ultra Instinct. So his transformation might be mimicking that in some way, which is actually pretty cool. Now, another exciting thing that could potentially happen, which I would kind of hate because it kind of, undermines everything thus far, is that Jiren actually does power up again and defeat Goku. Let's say Universe 7 is defeated, and Jiren actually wishes them back along with Universe 6. Say Jiren's idea this entire time was to gather up valuable fighters, like gather up competent fighters to help him hunt down the guy who killed his parents, or he deems this guy as such a threat he needs help from other universes. He can't defeat this guy on his own. This will lead into another arc. So this is another kind of cliffhanger that doesn't really end in tragedy, but it signifies that there's something else to come. So in the future, Goku, Vegeta, and Jiren, maybe with Hit and some others from Universe 6, etc., would all go to hunt down this one villain or help Jiren defeat this villain in one way or another. So I feel as if that would be very exciting in the long run, but in the, as Super is ending, it would kind of be BS for Jiren to just power up. I know Goku powering up this entire time was BS too, but you know, they've always done this where Goku have learned techniques in like under 5 minutes or just by seeing it once. So it's something you should just expect. But I don't expect Jiren to just power up for like the 10th time. So we just haven't seen the limits of his abilities yet. Is that how strong he is? If that's how strong he is, how strong is the guy who killed his parents if he hasn't defeated him yet? You get what I mean? That's like saying there's no limit to his power or something like that, and it's just terrible in my opinion. I mean, Goku is one thing, but we can't add another equation, another variable to the equation to make it even worse. Well, that's really all I have for this, and I'm looking forward to the end of Super. We have only 2 more episodes left. So after that, I'm guessing it'll be a bit lonely. It ends on March 25th. What am I going to do with my Saturday nights? I guess I'll just go out with friends, I guess. That boring shit. However, I will miss Dragon Ball Super, because before Dragon Ball Super actually came into being, I had always wanted a new Dragon Ball series, and when Battle of the Gods dropped, I was so excited. And then Revival of F dropped, and I just knew that they were planning something, and I was excited for that too. Needless to say, I was disappointed with the production team and everything with the first few episodes of Super, but gradually as the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 arc started and the Goku Black arc dropped, I started enjoying Super more and more. And though I was disappointed with a lot of Super's choices, namely how they handled Super Saiyan God and many of the power levels and who was more powerful than who, I overall enjoyed this show. I'll probably make a video of how I think Dragon Ball Super would be better and what would make it better sometime in the future. But for now, I'm just enjoying the show until March 25th. Well, that's all from me. So make good choices, stay hydrated, and stay gold. See you next week.